See, what are phrasal verbs? As Sunny just told us, it's a combination. It's not just one word. You take a verb. For example, don't you use so many times when your friend calls you and in between you have some work, so you just hang up, you tell your friend, okay, I'll catch up later on, right? Okay, bye, I've got some work, I'll catch up later on. So you're using a phrasal verb over there. Then we all are familiar with this breakdown. Oh, I couldn't reach on time, my vehicle broke down, my bike broke down, right? So broke down. In the past, we are using the past form of break. So breakdown means something gets spoiled. Any machinery that gets spoiled, you use breakdown. Now, do you notice in these phrasal verbs, we have a combination, right? We have a combination of a verb and something else. We call that particle. And that particle can be a preposition or an adverb, or it can also be a preposition plus an adverb. Many words which are same, like they can be used as preposition as well as adverbs. Up, down, all such words, away, they can be prepositions also, adverb also. Like adverb, what is a preposition? Let's understand these terms. Prepositions are all such words: in, on, at, under, over, beneath, underneath, before, after, all such words are prepositions. And prepositions, so they are used before a noun. That's a prepositions. Like if you are looking for something, maybe you're, where have you kept your money? The money is in your wallet. So the preposition is in over there. Now, what's an adverb? Adverbs are of different types. Adverbs can also tell us about where an action takes place, how it takes place, when it takes place, why it takes place. So, for example, if you say that, like, you are here, why are you here? You are here to improve your vocabulary. So why are you here? To improve your vocabulary. This entire phrase is also adverb. And where are you? You are here. Here is the adverb. Right? So adverbs tell us about the action, where, when, how often takes place. Adverbs also tell us something about the degree of something, how much. It's very good. So very is also an adverb. So here, when we talk about phrasal verbs, which phrasal verbs we include? The phrasal verbs that are mostly related to the place, like away, up, down. So it is in the bag. So in is the preposition. Is the doctor in? Now we are not putting any noun after that. So here the word in plays the role of adverb. So the same word can play both roles. But there are times you may find a preposition plus an adverb soon after it in phrasal verbs. So what's a phrasal verb? It's a group of 2 or 3 words. And these words mean something different from what they mean when they are taken separately. For example, put. If you put, you place something, you keep something. Put it there, put it here, put it in the corner, put it in your bag, keep it. That's what the word means. Now, when I talk about the word up, look up, right? Up, what's up there? Just see what's up. What do you have there? Up. So you go up and then you come down. So up, you're familiar with the word up. Now, when we join this word with put, then their meaning changes. Put up. So put up means to stay, right? It means to stay. So how the meaning changes? So where are you putting up means where are you staying? Where are you staying? That's what it means. Where are you putting up? Where are you staying? Now let's look at the last one. Here we've got preposition again, put up with. So how the meaning is going to change now? Put up with. Sometimes you change your, let's say if you are a tenant somewhere, you change your flat, or maybe if you are staying as a paying guest somewhere in PG accommodation, then you change that. Why do you change that? Or you request for a change. Why? Because you find it difficult to tolerate the behavior of others. You find it difficult to bear the others around you sometimes. So you find it difficult to put up with some people. Find it difficult to put up with. So put up with means to tolerate, to bear. There are times when you work in teams. If you are a working professional, you work in teams, and then you request for a change of the team. You want to work with somebody else. And why do you want to work with somebody else? Because you find it difficult to put up with someone who is in your team, to tolerate, to bear. Have you understood the meaning of both? How the meaning has changed in both the cases?
Yes, ma'am.
So if we are not, and they're simple words, they are not difficult words. But see, if you are not familiar with them, you are not going to understand what the other person is saying. Notice simple words, and it's very frustrating when we feel the words are simple and we are unable to understand the meaning of what the other person says to us. This can be quite frustrating. So that's why we should be familiar at least with some common phrasal verbs. There are thousands of them, but we can become familiar with some common ones. Look into. Can anyone tell me what it could mean? Look into. Are you familiar with it? Look into. See, look as verb can be used this way. Where are you looking now? You are looking at the screen of your cell phone or your laptop. You're looking at the screen. If you can see me in the video, you are looking at me, right? So look means to see, right? You look at someone, you look at something. But now we are adding this into, and it becomes a phrasal verb. Suppose something goes wrong. Something goes wrong. And you are unable to find a solution for that problem. So you request the others, maybe you request your colleagues, you request your manager, or you request your family members to look into the matter. Could you please look into the matter? Can you look into this? I can't understand it. Look into. That means help me to resolve it. Help me to understand this. So you look into something, you try to find a solution for that. Could you please look into this? Right? I'm facing a problem because of this issue. Please look into this matter. What is this fed up with? So when do you get fed up with any issue? We are fed up with something when we are bored. We do not, like we lose our interest in that. So we get fed up with it. And then we are also fed up of something, right? I'm fed up of doing, suppose there's a question, let's say in maths, and you are unable to find a solution. You do it again, you do it 5 times, 10 times. Finally, you are fed up of trying it again and again. So there, what did I add? I added fed up, like I added off to it. So you are fed up of doing something, and you are fed up with something. I'm fed up with it now, right? So both ways it can be used. So do you notice now? And otherwise, fed is the past form of feed. You feed somebody. You give food to someone, you feed someone. I fed a beggar yesterday. So fed is the past form of feed. But when the verb is combined with a preposition, adverb, how the meaning changes. So a phrasal verb is what? A combination of a verb and a particle. So it's the preposition that you find over there. And sometimes can play the role of an adverb also. You can also use plucked up. Now, here I've changed. What do you think plucked up courage can mean? I pulled myself up, I criticized. Now let me add it. I pulled myself up and plucked up courage. So plucked up courage means when you gather courage that, okay, come on, you can do it. You can face this. You can fight this dog. You can do it. So you pluck up courage. That's another phrasal verb. You pluck up courage. So why should you be familiar with phrasal verbs, with the commonly used phrasal verbs? Well, let's understand why. Because people who speak in English use them all the time in their conversations. When they speak to you, or when you see movies, English movies, or any talks, even in news channels also, you read something, you come across phrasal verbs everywhere. See, now I also used one phrasal verb. Can you tell me which was the phrasal verb in whatever I said to you? I said when you read something, listen to news, listen to talks, you come across phrasal verbs. So come across, you find, right? You notice, so you come across phrasal verbs. Now, in the IELTS speaking test, in the IELTS exam, you don't use the phrasal verbs in your writing test. But yes, you can definitely find them in the reading test. So you should be able to understand their meaning. But in your speaking test, there are 4 criteria. One of them is lexical resource, that is your vocabulary. And in vocabulary, you should use phrasal verbs in the IELTS speaking test. Then you get a higher score, higher band score. That means you'll be able to understand the native speakers, and you'll also be able to converse with them, use similar language. Now, otherwise, when you have any conversations with people, day-to-day activities, you'll be able to understand the fluent speakers. And you also speak English naturally. When you get into this habit, see, I used another one. When you get into the habit of using phrasal verbs, you speak English naturally then. So it's not that you are not familiar with them. You are familiar with them. You know what all these are. Now just become a little more conscious and start noticing them. So slowly every day you can add 2-3 phrasal verbs. That's how it's going to be. And you can keep on improving. But now let's understand some facts about phrasal verbs. Because if we don't understand these things, we may find the phrasal verbs difficult. So the first fact about phrasal verbs is they can be transitive or intransitive. So obviously phrasal verbs can also be transitive or intransitive. But what do the words transitive and intransitive mean? I'll give you a simple example to understand the difference between transitive and intransitive. So the word transit, let's understand this transit. Transit means to move. Like we have transit camps also when you're moving from one to another. So when you move from one place to another, then it is a transit. So if the verbs, whatever action is there, if it is passed on, if it moves on to something or somebody, then it becomes a transitive verb. If you do not require somebody or something, after that verb, it is intransitive. Let me give you an example. If I say that, let's talk about Vipin now. He was the one. So Vipin said no, or Vipin said yes. Do you notice now? So there's a verb over here, said. And soon after said, we are putting Vipin said what? Vipin said yes. So there is an object after it. After the verb, there is an object. Vipin said yes. So yes is the object. That means it's a transitive verb. Now Vipin said no. So you have an object after it. So when I say Vipin gave me an answer, right? Vipin gave me an answer. So gave whom? Gave me. So me is also object. Gave what? An answer. Answer is also object. You know, me is indirect object and answer is direct object. But both are objects. So the verb gave requires an object. You give something. I gave. Okay, I gave what? I gave whom. So it requires an object. So it is transitive verb. And you all must be familiar with one simple example. I'm sure all of you have read it at school. That is birds fly. I'm sure you all have read this, correct? Yes or no? Birds fly. Everybody has read this. This we all have read at school, birds fly. So there is no object after it. Birds fly. We don't require that birds fly. What? Birds fly. Birds fly. It is not who or what that is needed after it. But now if I put children fly. So children fly what? Right? So that means the same verb now requires an object. So when it does not require an object, it is intransitive. When it requires an object, it is transitive. So sometimes the same verb can require an object. So here I must put children fly kites, children fly those dummy aeroplanes. We have so many toys these days. So unless I put this, the sense is incomplete. So sometimes the verbs require object. Sometimes they do not require an object. So when they need an object, they are transitive. When they do not need an object, they are intransitive. So now let's understand the phrasal verb. This is also verb. So transitive phrasal verb. Put down. If you tell somebody put down, now put down where? Put, that is different. But put down what? Put it down. Like when you put somebody down, you criticize that person. Right? Don't put him down so much. Don't criticize him so much. So you always put down somebody or something. Clear up. So clear up what? Clear it up. Clear up that area. Clear up this area. You require an object. Hold back. I got a sad news yesterday from my friend, and I found it difficult to hold back. Hold back what? Hold back my tears. To control my tears, to hold back my tears. Right? Hold yourself back. Hold back that something. So you hold back something that is needed. We use it so often. Oh, I'm finding it so difficult to hold back my tears. There are so many people, when they hear good news or bad news, they find it difficult to hold back their tears. To hold back their tears means to control their tears, right? Let's look at some other examples you see over here. The government wants to knock down my house to build a new road. So to knock down means to, can anyone give me the meaning? What does knock down mean? Knock down. Yes. Knock down. What could it mean? To bring something down. So here knock down means to demolish, right? Put me down. I don't want you to carry me anymore. So to put me down, that means to put somebody or something down. Slow down. Slow down what? If you tell somebody, the other person understands when you're walking with someone, please slow down. Now, slow down, what do you mean? So that means the person understands, please slow down your speed, slow down your pace, slow down the video. I want to look more closely. Okay, so speed. Then take, yes?
Speed.
Yes, slow down its speed. Very good. Slow down its speed. That's what the meaning is. Take down. See what happened on 15th August. All of us put the tricolor flag up in our balconies, atop our houses. So after that, all those who did not take it down actually showed disrespect, because then the rains were there and the flags got spoiled. Turn down, maybe somebody offers you something, but you turn down the offer. You turn down the offer. You turn down, maybe somebody gives you an opportunity, but you turn it down. But turn down also means to reduce the volume, as is given over here. The music is too loud. Please turn it down. So the same phrasal verb can have different meanings also. Now, intransitive phrasal verbs, they do not need an object. Get up, wake up, come on, run away, go away, right? Give away to the poor, to the needy. So I'm not putting somebody or something, I'm putting two over there. And some verbs can be used as transitive and intransitive both. Another thing to understand is, as I told you, one phrasal verb can have many meanings. Can have many meanings. I gave you these examples earlier. Breakdown. Breakdown can mean you become upset also. It can also, like, you break it down. Come on, break down this sentence. That means you divide it into parts. Then when something gets spoiled, or machinery stops functioning, then it breaks down. Come over, like you visit, to visit, or when you are overtaken by emotions. So then also you use come over. A strange feeling came over me. When I entered that house, a strange feeling came over me. So that means when you experience a feeling, that's what come over is. So the same thing can have different meanings. Same phrasal verb can have many meanings. That's how it is. So because of this, we find it difficult to understand them. So best is you start noting them down, either in a word file in your system or in a notebook. Start noting down the phrasal verbs. And slowly you will start understanding them and you'll be able to use them also. Now, another thing that we have to understand about phrasal verbs is that they can be separable or inseparable. What do we mean by separable or inseparable? Separable, separate. That means those 2 or 3 words of a phrasal verb can be separated. Inseparable means those 2 or 3 words cannot be separated. So some phrasal verbs are separable, some are inseparable. This is another thing you need to understand about the phrasal verbs. So separable phrasal verbs can have an object. Now I hope everybody understands what an object is. So they can have an object between the verb and the preposition, the particle. Like we can say, please look up the word in the dictionary. So we have used look up together. We can also say, look it up in the dictionary. So now we have separated. Right? Make it up. Make up. Come on, make up an excuse. Just make it up quickly. So we use something in between. We use an object in between. So then the phrasal verb is separable. Inseparable, you cannot put. Fail to, can we say fail somebody to? Can you say catch somebody up? I'll catch up with you. You catch up with someone. You can catch someone, but you catch up with someone. You failed to do something. You failed to go somewhere. You failed to come up to somebody's expectations. Come down with, like it's the rainy season and many children are coming down with fever, going down with fever. You can use any of these words. So come down with, we cannot put somebody or something in between over here. Come on, carry on with your work. So I cannot say carry your work on with, no, carry on with your work. That means continue to do something. Hold on to. Suppose somebody is drowning, somebody is in water somewhere, hold on to that rope. Or you hold on to your job. Like coronavirus, many people, lockdown, many people wanted to leave their jobs, or children wanted to leave their school. That was a different thing, but many people wanted to leave their job or change their job. So everybody said, no, 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 hold on to your job. Whatever you have in hand, just hold on to it. So you cannot put anything else in between. So this is inseparable then. So phrasal verbs can be transitive or intransitive, and they can be separable or inseparable. So now how do you find and learn these phrasal verbs, right? There are thousands of phrasal verbs in English. So look for the ones that are common. You don't have to learn all thousands of them. And Google is there. You can Google it. You just type the verb and look for the phrasal verbs. That's all you can do. It's very simple. Read magazines, journals, use a dictionary, and make a list of the topics related to different topics. For example, travel. Okay, which all phrasal verb? You can always look up in the dictionary. Cooking, which all phrasal verbs can be used? Holidays, which phrasal verbs can be used? And try to memorize phrasal verbs like this and start using them.